the encyclopedia, and I'm sure that must have been an enormous task. He is one of the few practitioners of the art of avdhanam, and he has performed 26 ashtavadhanas at various parts of India. He has received Professor C.G. Purushottam Book Award and a title award, Avdhana Vichakshana, from Shri Vidyadhish Tirtha Swamiji. So we welcome you and please do your present.
अस्मिन् अतिविशिष्टे कार्यक्रमे मम कृते अवसरं प्रकल्पितवत्यः आयोजकेभ्यः प्रणामान् विनिवेद्य अत्रत्यां विदुषः प्रणम्य च अहं मम प्रस्तुतिम् आरभे। प्रस्तुते विषयः अस्ति. So the topic for the presentation is representation of the midnight sun in Indian astronomical texts, and I will be taking some references from ancient Greek literature also at the end. So this presentation will include a brief introduction to the phenomenon of midnight sun. I hope it is known to all of us, but still I will take a couple of minutes to introduce it, and then explicit references for such phenomenon from Indian astronomical works and the values given in these texts. So values of the latitude, that in which latitude how many days of day or how many days of visibility of sun happens. So such details also will be given. An indication of such phenomenon in Vedic and Purāṇic works, whether in Vedic and Purāṇic it is not explicitly said, but can we understand in those ways from of some such statements, and the Greek astronomers' statements also will be taken. So this is a so let me introduce the midnight sun. So it refers to a phenomenon observed in the region of Earth's poles, where the sun remains above the horizon for more than 24 hours, leading to the sun being visible at midnight. And in our text, these terms have not been given. Midnight sun or polar night; these are the names for such phenomenon. So in Indian paribhasha, so it is dinam dineshasya yatotra darshane. The duration in which I can see the sun is day, and the duration in which I cannot see the sun is night. In that way, it is explained. So there are some references where our text say that for 2 months or 2 rashis cannot be seen. So those references I will be taking here. And a related phenomenon in the polar night, where the sun remains under the horizon for more than 24 hours. So these, many people actually go to experience such phenomenon also. It is very pleasant to see it, though I haven't seen. I only saw it through YouTube and all. So these are some regions. You can see the latitude, and our Bhaskaracharya clearly says that Shakshashti Bhaga Vedikas Palamshaha Yatrasti Yatrasa Tatras Yaparo Visheshaha Lambadhika Kranti Rudachaya Tavat Dinam Santatameva Tatra. So such phenomenon happens only after 66 degrees of latitude. So you can see here, these are the different regions where we can see the duration of the day, that 41 days, 55 days, and 76 days, 100 days. And the way latitude gets increased, the duration of the day also will be increased. And everything is, the centric point of these things is summer solstice. So if 41 days are there, it means 20 days prior to summer solstice and 20 days after summer solstice. So in this way it occurs. You can see that. So now let us see the references. So all presentations actually started from Aryabhatta and went on through Bhaskaracharya and then later Kerala School of Mathematics. I am starting from Bhaskara, and I will go vice versa. So because Bhaskara gives clear statements, therefore with the latitudes, so I will be taking Bhaskara's reference in the beginning. So this is the verse. Shakshashti bhaga vedika palamsha means akshamsha, latitude. So where it starts from the duration discussion of the duration of the day and night. So he says that in the equinox, in all the days in the year, the duration of the day and night becomes same. So 30 gadikas of day and 30 gadika of night. So then he says that gradually when we go, the latitude gets increased, the duration of the day and night also gets changed. And after that, and he says that how to compute chara and all, and this discussion comes in Golabhyaga, where he produces the rationale of these things, how this chara, where the chara state locates and all. And when it comes to 66 degrees, he says that Tatra Vyaparo Vishesha Lambatika Kranti Rudakcha Yavat Tavat Dinam Santatameva Tatra. So Kranti means the declination of the sun, and Lambamsha means co-latitude. So he said that if the Lambasika Udak Kranti, so Udak Kranti, the declination of the sun, if it remains more than the Lambamsha, then for those days, sun will remain above the horizon only. So this is the statement. And after that, he produces some other statement. In that also we can abstract the idea of midnight sun. So, for example, Tremsha Yunna Varasa Palamshaka Yatra Tatra Vishaye Kadachana Drishyate na Makaro na Karmukam Kincha Kakki Mithuno Sadodito. He says Tremsha Navarasa Palamshaka, where the latitude is Tremsha Navarasa. Navarasa means 69. Tramsha means Tritiyamsha, so 1/3 of a degree. So it means where the latitude is 69 degrees 20 minutes. Makaraha Karmukanta Nadrishyate. Makara and Karkataka, Makara and Dhanu cannot be seen. And Karki Mithuno Sadodito. Mithuna and Karkataka will always remain above the horizon. So it means, in another words, we can say that when sun is posited in Mithuna and Karkataka, he always remains above the horizon. And when he travels through Dhanu and Makara, he will remain below the horizon. So in that way also we can understand. So if we understand in that way, he is clearly saying that where in this latitude 2 months of day and 2 months of night will occur. And similarly, another verse, Yatra Sanghi Gajavadi Samhitas Tatra Vrishchika Chatushtayannacha Drishyate Vrishabhacha Tushtayam Sarvada Samudidaccha Lakshyate. So he said that where the latitude is 78 degrees and 15 minutes, there Vrishabha, Mithuna, Karkataka and Simha cannot be can be seen. From Vrishchika 4 Rashis cannot be seen, and Vrishabha Chatushtayam Sarvada Samuditam Lakshyate. So from Vrishabha 4 Rashis, Vrishabha, Mithuna, Karka and Simha, these always remain above the horizon. So when sun travels in these Rashis for 120 or more than 120 days, Savana days, so those people will experience day or will always see the sun. So, and the Meru phenomenon is always known to us, and that also has been. And I'm sorry for not mentioning this. So this paper actually co-authored by me, and my student actually is the first author. His name is Vinay Iyer. He actually has made a lot of contribution to this paper. So with that, I will continue. So this is in another words also I have mentioned. So just to give for a better understanding. Yeah. So this is where the latitude is below, lesser than 66 degrees. So how does it become? Yesterday actually Sriram sir also in this presentation, the duration of how the duration of the day and night differs. So in that explanation such discussion had come. So you can see here, this is the Unmandala. It is the horizon of the equator, where the people who reside in the equator. So from there, we always see that half of the equator, celestial equator remains below the horizon and half of the celestial equator remain above the horizon. So they always feel 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. So when the way latitude gets increased, and to understand the latitude, you can see the declination of the equator. So it means so here you can see it is declined by 30 degrees from the zenith. So it means this place is of 30-degree latitude, and you can see, and all ahoratra vrittas, the path of sun, they are actually parallel to the equator, celestial equator. So you can see that, here it is not given that the Tropic of Cancer is not given. If you take that, so it will be somewhere here only, because the Paramakrantyamsha, the maximum declination is 24 degrees according to Indian astronomy. So obliquity of the ecliptic is taken as 24 degrees in Indian astronomy. So maximum it comes here and it goes all the way till here. So anyhow, some part of in all the year, some part of the equator will be below the horizon. So every day we experience day and night. So where the latitude is 66 degrees, so let us see what happens. So from zenith, this is the equator. Please ignore these values, 23.5 values. So I could not draw, so I just taken one image from Google Images. So from zenith till equator, it is 66 degrees. So from equator till horizon, it should be 24 degrees. This is Lambamsha. So see here, this is horizon, and when sun comes Uttara Kranti, when sun is in the Tropic of Cancer, so Uttara Kranti will be 24 degrees. So in that, only one day for the people who are residing in 66-degree northern latitude, only one day they will see the sun for all 24 hours. So this is what they experience, and for other days you can see that all ahoratra vrittas. So some part of ahoratra vritta comes below the horizon. Let us go to the next slide. So what happens if the latitude is more than 66 degrees? So see here, zenith is here, and this is the celestial equator, and this from equinox to end, this will be the Lambamsha. So you can see here, so this Lambamsha is from here to this, again south latitude, and if the Kranti or declination of the sun goes more than this one, this value, so Lambadika Kranti, if declination of the sun or northern declination of the sun, if it becomes more than Lambamsha, then for those days sun will be rotating like this. And all the day we can see, for so many days we can see the sun. So this will happen. And similarly, for the same duration, in the other part of that particular year, in the same duration, for the same duration, that place will experience a night also. So when the same declination of the sun in the towards south, Dakshina Kranti, if for the duration which it becomes the same, so for those days we don't experience the sun. So this will be the phenomenon, and we can see in the North Pole, Vishwat Vrittam Kshitijattam Itam Tesham. In that way he says, Bhaskaracharya says, Vishwat Vritta, this celestial equator becomes the Kshitija Vritta for them. So horizon it becomes, and only, and very interestingly it says that they will be having only Mesha Lagna for all the year. So this is Mesha, and then for 90 days the sun will be going like this for 90 days, and for another 90 days sun will be coming down like this. So for 6 months they will experience the day, and for 6 months they will experience night. So this is what happens. And we saw the references from Bhaskaracharya. So let us see how Varamira states this. So Varamira in another, he proposes this in another way. So he says, Trishatim Trisaptatiyutam Gatvo Dadyo Janatribhagancha Ujjayini to Viramati Paryastoyam Bhagana Golaha Shashtir Nadyastasmin Sakrudurite Vishyate Divasanatha. So he says, Shashtir Nadyastasmin Sakrudurite Vishyate Divasanatha. At the place 373.33 yojanas north from Ujjain. So once again Ujjain is coming here. So he has taken Ujjain and from there as a reference point, and from there he is computing all the things. So that is very interesting. And the sun is visible for 16 nadis, one whole day. And if we reproduce this with the latitude, so Varamera taken Bhuparithi Yojana 3,200 yojanas. So the circumference of the earth according to Varamera is 3,200. Because different texts actually give different values. For example, now in Siddhāntic it is given as 5,060 yojanas, and Bhaskaracharya also gives a little lesser than 5,000 yojanas. So here we can find little difference, and according to that, one namsha, I mean, with 8.88 yojanas, it becomes one namsha, or 8.88 yojanas make one namsha. So if I have to take if I with that if I compute, and the latitude of Ujjain is 24 degrees. So if I convert these 373.33 yojanas into amshas, and if I add it to 24 degrees, it will give 66 degrees. So where the latitude is 66 degrees, you can, so he said that Shashtir Nadyastasmin Sakrudite Drishyate Divasanatah. So for 60 nadis, we the sun will be visible. And then he says, Parata Parato Bahuta Ramashan Masa Sumeru. And gradually it increases further and further with the increase in latitude until it is for 6 months at the pole. So in that way he says. And again he says that Yojana Panchana Vamsha Astradhikancha Chatushyati Mudagavantyaha Gatva Nadhanurmakarau Kadachidapi Darshanam Vahatah. So he says 403.55 yojanas north of Ujjain, Dhanu and Makara are never seen. And again 482 and a fraction of yojanas north of that place of Ujjain itself, from 4 rashis from Vrishchika will never rise. So again the same statement, but here he has given with the yojanas, not with the latitude. If we convert these yojanas into latitude, we will get a very closer value what Bhaskaracharya has given. And those present at equator, that reference also can be found in Varamera. So some quick remarks. Surya Siddhanta also gives similar details. So in Surya Siddhanta also we can find. Similarly, Lalla, Vateshwar and Shripati provide the values for the latitude, where 2, 4 and 6 rashis are always visible or invisible. So the same method has been followed by Lalla, Vateshwar and Shripati, but their values are far removed from the actuals. So that I will show later. And Aryabhata and Brahmagupta only mention about the sun being visible for 6 months. Ravivarshardham Devaha is Aryabhata's statement. Ravivarshardham Devaha Pashyantu Ditam, in that way it goes. So and in the statements of Vateshwar and Shripati, so especially in Vateshwara, there was some problem also we faced. For example, to understand Vateshwara statement, it says that Yasmin Palam Rasakosha Tulya Natatra Drishyo Makarodhanushta, he says. So Rasakosha, Rasa is 6, but Kosha in the commentary it is given as 6. But for Kosha, I don't know how it represents 6. So that is one problem we faced. And another one is he says Kumbha Ali Saptanga Mriga Sadaiva. So Kumbha Ali Saptanga Mriga. So Saptanga here actually represents Dhanu. I don't know how it becomes appropriate. We can say Satyanga because Sapti means horse, and Dhanu Rashi contains horse in its body. So if I replace Saptanga with Satyanga, the meter also, I mean, it doesn't get disturbed. So it can be some, some editors, this one also can be in that way also we can understand it. Otherwise, Saptanga has to be, Dhanu Rashi must be taken from that Saptanga verse. And very interestingly, we have discussed that how the continued tradition is there. So Lalla has given the value of, you can see the difference. I have produced it on the table. It gives us a clear picture. So we can see that Varahamira and Bhaskaracharya, the values given by Varahamira and Bhaskaracharya are closer to, if we compute the values by taking obliquity of ecliptic as 24 degrees. So those values we get. And Varahamira and Bhaskaracharya are close to exact values. But Lalla, Vateshwar and Sripati are far removed from actual values. And in the Lalla's text, we cannot find the value for 2 months of day and 2 months of night. So that also is something interesting. But what Bhaskaracharya does says, and we can see here, Sripati is blindly following Lalla. So many times, what we can observe, Sripati, his original contributions are very less. So he, at most places, he follows Brahmagupta and Lalla. So here also we can see that he is following Lalla. And Bhaskaracharya criticizes Lalla, and he is very soft with Sripati. At many places, we can see that he hardly criticizes Lalla, but with Sripati, he never says anything. Here also, Shakshashti Sadalala Pala Bhava Yasminna Tasmin Dhanurna Krashapina Vichikona Gatara Panchadra Yoya Pracha Drishatyaditi Yatsada Palavitam Lalle Nagole Nide Golatna Trilavonitasta Udita Kenocha Ramhetuna. The value you have produced has no, Gola Yukti. So how you have arrived with this value? Tell me. In that way, Bhaskaracharya criticizes. And clearly you can see Lallena Golena. He says, he mentions Lalla, but never mentions Sripati. So that also something interesting.
In fact, he is critical of Lalla at several places.
Yeah.
Yeah. Particularly.
Yeah.
Surface area of space.
Surface area, yeah.
In fact, it seems to have some low-head relation because he has supposed to have done, Lalla Shishadi with the Vivarana. He is supposed to have done, So it's certainly important. And Lalla is important. But it's critical at several places.
Yeah.
Other places also.
So, with this, we shall little go to the Vedic and Purāṇic literature. This is just a thought. The scholars are best to say whether it works or not. So, in Vedic and Purāṇic literature, the statements, for example, in Kaikariya Brahmana, the statement is that Ekamva Etat Devana Maha Yat Samvatsaraha. So we can always see that such statements that 1 human year is 1 day for the devas, gods. And we can all, this one also we can see that at several places, Uttarayana has been considered as the day of the devas and Dakshinayana considered as night. So whether it is indicating that such indication of such phenomenon, this is also just a thought.
But actually, you mentioned this in the paper, but it should be from equinox to equinox should be the day, not the Uttarayana.
Yeah. So, I will come to that point. So, Manusmriti also says that Uttarayana is day and Dakshinayana is night. And again, this one is from Vayu Purana. This one also says that Uttarayana is the day and Dakshinayana is the night. And in Vishnu Dharmottara Purana, it is actually the discussion of Jyotish Shastra. So there it says that Rututrayam Chayanam Syat Tadvayam Ta Samasmruta Devatana Mahoratram Sacharama Prakirtitaha Meshadi Shatkage Surye Tesham Divasa Uchyate. So he says Meshadi Shatkage Surye Tesham Divasa and Tuladi Shatkage Surye Tesham Ratri Prakirtita. So this is actually representing to, referring to Uttara Gola, not Uttarayana. Meshadi, from Mesha to Kanyanta, it is actually Uttara Gola, not Uttarayana. So whether we can, and again, there are a lot of things that whether this Rashi names in the Purana Kala, whether Rashi names were there or not. So such discussions also can, I mean, must be taken. But since the time is very less, I am just running through. And Bhaskaracharya in his Siddhāntic Shiromani, so for the, I mean, he always tries to do the samanvaya between Purana and Siddhanta. So he says that in Puranas it is said that Uttara, and first of all he says in Jyotish Shastra, Devas reside at the North Pole. This is the perception of Jyotish Shastra, Siddhanta of Jyotish Shastra. And it is Sumeru is that North Pole, and South Pole is Kumeru, where Daityas reside. So according to that, our Uttara Gola from Mesha to Kanyanta becomes their day, and our Dakshina Gola, Tuladi, Meenanka becomes their night. But in Puranas it is said little differently that Makaradi, Shad Rashis, 6 Rashis Uttarayana, and Karkadi 6 Rashis Dakshinayana. In Bhaskaracharya in the Siddhānta Shiromani says that Dinonmukherke Dinameva Tanmatam Nishatata Tat Phalat Kirtanayata. So many times we perform the yagas during the day, but not in the second half of the day. So second half of the day should be considered, based on the phala, should be considered as the night, and the second half of the night can be considered of the day for Anudita Kovis. So if you go with this understanding, we can do some kind of samanvaya. So what we see in the Puranas, it is for the phala kirtana, not exact phenomenon. That's what Bhaskaracharya says. And he tries to do that samanvaya. So these things from our text, our source, Indian astronomical sources. And I went up to Bhaskaracharya only. So from starting from Aryabhata till Bhaskaracharya, I went. And again, let us go to some Greek references. So this is from Odyssey. So Homer says, and it is actually Odysseus goes to his travel while traveling. It says that and it reaches the extreme boundaries of the deep flowing ocean, where are the people and city of Cimmerians covered with shadow and vapor, nor does the shining sun behold them with his beams. So, and neither when he goes towards the starry heaven, nor when he turns back again from heaven to earth, but pernicious night is spread over hapless mortals. So we can see that, and in those places, the sun's rays will be very, it is not at all. So in that way, such expression we can see, and it can be considered as a weather. And the Greeks actually were very close to, not so close, but close to that polar region. And it can be, it is possible that they have knew such phenomenon through the traders or through the soldiers. So that is possible. And we can see this one also, Titus. So he was a Greek explorer, and he is said to have sailed to the northern areas. But the original record of his voyage is now lost, but he is referred to by several later sources. So he also mentions such phenomenon, and a clear statement we can see in Ptolemy. So he also classifies how he discusses such phenomenon. I will conclude in 4 to 5 minutes. 2 minutes. Yeah. So you can read this in 1 minute. So actually, so length of the day on summer solstice is starting from 12 hours till 24 hours, from 0 degree latitude till 66 degree latitude, and then he says that what kind of different phenomenon happens in different phenomena happen in other places. So his latitude provided by him can be seen here, and very interestingly, he gives 1 month of day, 2 months of day, 3 months of day. In that way, he gives. Indian astronomers actually give 2, 4, and 6. So this is little difference, and with this we can clearly say that the Indians didn't merely follow the Greeks. Actually, if Indian astronomers merely followed the Greek, actually they should have taken what in the way that they have expressed. So this also actually gives us. And when Varamira says, we always think that Varamira comes in 5th century, and he actually compiles Prachina Pancha Siddhantas. So such knowledge must be existed at least 300 or 400 years before him. So this is the some summary. And, so given the most text between the Vedas and the earliest known Siddhantas till Aryabhata are not presently available, it is not possible to trace the development of thought that took place between these times. So we are, and with some other sources, if you can get.
I think you have to check to Vriddhagar.
So with this, and another thing that Indian astronomers should have developed their theories based on Gola Yukti, because for Greek astronomers, it is, I mean, they are close to such places, but we are far away from such places. So based on true Gola Yukti only, Indian astronomers arrived with such conclusion. This is what my take. And my means our, me and Vinay Iyer, who is my co-author. So with this, I will conclude. Thanks for this opportunity, and thanks to all the careers.
So the earliest Indian reference seems to be earlier than the earliest Greek reference, right? If we take the Vedic reference,
Yeah,
that is earlier than Homer for sure.
yeah.
So in that sense, I don't see why, if any, there should be any allegation that this was taken from the Greeks.
Later mathematical astronomy.
I'm not Greek.
Later mathematical.
So, in the middle of your presentation, there was a slide of Baksha's commentary, I think, where he was saying 3,000 Diogenes above Ujjain, something like that. I don't remember the exact names.
Yeah.
Figures or something.
Okay.
Have you tried to figure out the length of the Diogenes from that? Because it seems it can be an independent way to measure it. Because you said that taking into account 3,200 Diogenes for the circumference of the Earth,
Yeah, according to Varamira,
it figures out 66 degrees.
yeah.
But Varamir maybe it was saying 69 degrees or something like that. In the modern, you said it's 69 degrees. Maybe taking that as a true point, you can calculate the Diogenes that will become a little bigger. Right?
So,
You could try that because it seems it could be interesting because it's an independent way to measure the Diogenes.
I didn't get the. So it is a way of measuring Yojana.
You can.
The length of Yojana.
Yes, because you have the 69 degrees, it's also
Yeah.
given in the Siddhantas,
Yeah.
and you have the 24 degrees for
Yeah.
Ujjain. And
Yeah, actually, very interestingly, in the Siddhanta text, they say that how they have, because no one can travel across the 360 degree of the earth. So how they have arrived with the circumference of the earth. Bhaskaracharya says the methodology that Purantaram che idam uttaram syat tadaksha vishleshanavei tadakim. So what they did, they took the difference in the yojanas of two places and took the difference in the latitude of those two places. So if I get 16 yojanas for 2 degrees of latitude, so then my job is done. So I do the Trirashika rule of 3, and so if I get 16 yojanas with the 2 degrees, how many yojanas I will get with the 360 degrees? So this was the way that they arrived with the circumference of the.
Yeah, yes, I understand, but you have another way, this independent way to measure that. Because you have the 24 degrees of Ujjain, and the 69 degrees of the fact that the sun is for 2 months is right? And you have, because this Bhaskara commentary says expected Diogenes up from Ujjain.
Yeah,
So,
we'll can do that.
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
sure.
do that.
Thank you.
And also another thing, when you were saying that for 2 months the sun is illuminating the North Pole, or all these people, it remembers me of when Shukadeva Goswami says that on the Mount Mary, the devas, they are so hot because the sun is always illuminating them. I don't know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the research scholars, they are enriching us with their deeper work, and they are also getting enriched with the very meaningful observations and suggestions being given, which is the true purpose of any of the conferences.